In this video, I'm going to show you how to make this mid-century modern desk. And be sure to watch the entire video because throughout the video, I'm also going to give you some great pocket hole joinery tips and tricks. For this project, I'm using some pine panels and also some scrap 1x8. For this desk, the dimensions are going to be 4 feet wide or 48 inches wide by 24 inches deep. So basically what we're going to do is take both of our bigger panels and cut them to 4 feet long over here on the table saw. The reason I decided to buy this pre-surfaced panel with all of these boards glued up is because it's going to save me time. I know it's more expensive per board foot than buying like some 1x8s and gluing them all together, but this is going to give us a much better surface for much less work. So I'm just spending a little extra money to save me time, because really with some projects like this, especially if you're building them for a client, your time is more important than your material costs. So just kind of keep this in mind. You can also do this by gluing together and maybe getting a biscuit joiner and jointing together several 1x8s. All right, so after making these 2 cuts off of our 6-foot panels, we should have these 2 feet by 2 feet panels left over, but this is not scrap. The next thing I'm gonna do is go ahead and cut 4 strips out of this 4 1/4 inches this way long, I guess. And what this is gonna do, this is gonna be the dividers in the underneath shelvings area of the desk. One quick note to keep in mind, make the cuts with the direction that the boards are lining. So don't cut this way with the smaller boards. Let's do it. Here are the 4 1/4 inch strips, and I'm just gonna lay them out here to kind of see what they'll look like at the bottom of the desk. Okay, so to secure all of the supports to the bottom of this desk, I'm gonna be using the Craig 720 Pro. I believe that's this model. I'll leave a link to this in the description. Now, according to Craig's website, we want to use 1 1/4 inch screws, interior screws, so we have those. Also make sure that you set your collar, hopefully you guys can see this, to 3/4 of an inch. The reason we're doing that is because our lumber that we're using is 3/4 of an inch thick. So make sure you measure that. Craig, by the way, they are not a sponsor of the channel. I just really, I love their product, and so that's why I'm using it here. It's gonna make the joinery very strong and accurate and easy to do. Right here, I'm just marking out where I'm going to put my pocket holes. Don't have to make these perfect. I just try to keep them pretty even so it looks good. This Craig 720 Pro makes pocket holes so quick and easy. One more note about using pocket hole screws. I'm not going to use an impact driver. I'm just going to use a drill, and I'm probably even going to put the clutch on the drill. This is pine. This is very soft wood, and if I use an impact driver, it'd probably blow through the front of the pocket hole. So make sure also that you're using the correct screws. If you're using a Craig jig, just order screws from Craig. Don't try to use normal wood screws because these are designed specifically for pocket hole joinery. All right, let's do it. Now, a couple of notes. First of all, I came in 16 inches from inside to inside right here, but that's totally optional. You want it to be pretty close to evenly spaced out. I actually made the side storage cubbies a little bit wider than the center storage cubby, but you don't have to do that, of course. kind of think about what you want to use the desk for, where you want to store things. You just don't want to put it like, way on the edge. One more note, we're actually going to make sure that the bottom, we're just going to screw straight in because we wouldn't be able to get our drill in here to go attach it with pocket holes from both directions, if that makes sense. Keep watching if that didn't make sense, but we're basically going to put this on top and then drill straight down. Be sure to pre-drill your holes, otherwise your panel may split. Really nice thing about pocket hole joinery is that it hides screws from the top of the table. Next up, what I'm going to be doing is attaching the legs to the bottom of this desk. Now I'm using hairpin legs. It's gonna go really nicely with the look. I will link to these in the description. I got these off Amazon. They have the 3 rods, which will give it some extra strength and a little bit of extra weight to this desk. Now, since we're working with 3/4 inch lumber, I cut off, once again, this is included in the scrap you'll have from these panels, but a little section that's gonna go all the way across the bottom of the desk, and then I'm gonna screw legs into this board into the bottom of the desk all at the same time. I'm using some 1, 2, 3 blocks, as I'm showing you right here, to make sure that this goes parallel to the edge of the desk. And I'll also be using these 1, 2, 3 blocks to line up the hairpin legs. This is a great purchase on Amazon. I'll link these in the description. Be sure to check them out. Just really, really handy tool to have in the shop for lots of different reasons. Put a couple of things on the desk since last time you saw it. First of all, the legs are completed. Now we've flipped it right side up. You can really start to see how the desk is going to come together. Now I've cut off some 7 1/4 by 7 1/4 squares. Once again, if you buy the panels with the same dimensions that I did, you'll have these left over. And then I am using some scrap 1 by 8, which is really 3/4 by 7 1/4 if you measure it out once it's been dried out and everything. Anyways, I basically have cut out 4 of these squares. I'm going to line them up with the supports that are in the lower cubbies, and we're going to do some pocket hole joinery and glue there as well to secure this, to secure it. That's what I'm trying to say. What I have done now, I cut 2 inches off the 16 inch by 4 foot panel. And what this is gonna be is the backing board for the top shelf and actually in the bottom cubbies as well. So I'm going to go ahead and put this down and flip this on its side, and the pocket holes that we've prepared in these panels will attach to this back panel. Also, think about what side you want facing out. Put this side that you want facing out against the table. Here's what the desk is starting to look like. I've attached the back cubbies and backing board with just a couple of screws, as you can see here. Sanding, my least favorite part of any project. I'm using some 120 and then 220 and then 320, I believe is what I did here. Just make sure you hit all the high contact areas. I'm finishing this with some polyurethane. It just really makes the wood pop. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions. If you've learned something in this video, consider hitting that like button. It really helps me out. And I'd love it if you subscribe for future content. See you guys soon.